Howdy, y'all. Welcome to Rollin with the Punches. I'm Jessie Punch. I'm so happy you're here. If you can't tell by the billboard of t-shirt that I'm wearing this week, it's Bristol week, baby. Get excited. And not to make everything about myself, but it's also my birthday week, baby. Get excited. I know I am. But wait, don't break out into a 4-part happy birthday harmony quite yet. I'm not celebrating just yet. I will be celebrating this weekend, though, at the racetrack. This isn't my first rodeo celebrating my birthday at the racetrack. You see, growing up in racing, I feel like my birthday tends to always fall sometime around the Bristol race, so I'm kind of used to that. But my parents reminded me that when I was younger, we think it was probably my 5th birthday. My mom and I were there for the weekend, obviously supporting my dad as he's working, and the Food City people found out that it was my birthday, and so they so kindly threw me a little birthday party in the Food City suite. So I got to have my 5th birthday party at Bristol Motor Speedway in the Food City suite, sponsored by Food City. Not your average 5-year-old's birthday party. No face painters or, balloon animal artists. But Bobby Allison did stop by to say hello and wish me a happy birthday. So I don't think it really gets any better than that. So that being said, when I found out that my birthday this year quite literally fell on Sunday, on Food City 500 race day, I whipped out my phone and hit up that family group chat so fast, hit up the Punch Bunch. I was like, clear your calendars. We're going to Bristol. And they did. They actually listened to me. They all cleared their calendars and they're coming to Bristol this weekend to celebrate with me. Both my mom and my dad, my younger brother and his wife. My younger brother has to be in court on Monday. They live in Nashville. He's coming all the way to Bristol to celebrate my birthday. Watch some great Cup Series racing under the lights too. Obviously, that's a big part of the whole weekend trip. And then he's making his way back Sunday night so that he can be in court on Monday in Nashville. That's love. Oh, he's an attorney, by the way. I realize that's kind of a major detail when you tell somebody that you're going to court. He's an attorney, my younger brother. We live very different lives. Anyways, all that to say, the Punch Bunch is taking on Bristol this weekend, and my heart is very, very full. But speaking of family, this week's interview is with Luke Baldwin, and you may be familiar with the Baldwin name. They have a ton of history in this sport. His dad, even further back, his grandfather, Tiger Tommy Baldwin, a legend in the modifieds. And his dad, Tommy Baldwin Jr., has experience as a Cup Series owner. His modified team has won championships all up and down the East Coast. I'm sure you've seen that black NY, that 7NY somewhere on a racetrack at some point, and most likely in Victory Lane, if I'm being honest. But talking to Luke, he doesn't have your average kid who grew up in racing and wants to try it himself kind of story. He's only been racing for a couple years and he's 18 years old, so he's kind of playing catch up, but already having a lot of success, but just has a very different perspective on everything. So it was very refreshing to talk to him, and I'm excited for you guys to get to know this youngest generation of Baldwin that is already very much making a name here in the racing world. So with that, I'll shut up and I'll let you guys get to know Luke Baldwin. The fact that you made time for this is so appreciated. You came from testing today. I know you were testing yesterday because I saw posts on social media. You were a busy guy. What were you testing yesterday and today?
I was testing a truck at Charlotte yesterday, just getting some 1.5 mile experience, rookie test. And then today was modified at Hickory because it's where we run this weekend. So just trying to get stuff dialed in there.
So, all right, this is a big season for you. I'm trying to look at like your schedule here with now knowing you got a couple truck starts, and then are you running full time again in Smart Mods?
Yep, full-time Smart.
Full-time?
Yeah.
Defending the title?
I'm going to try.
And then not full-time, but making, as we were just talking, the majority of the starts the season in the Wheel and Modified Tour as well. What, like 13 races?
Something like that. Like
that's wild.
Tentatively.
Look at what you've done already in that series. Even just this year, you came in and won the pole, and then you would have had that win at New Smyrna, right? You told me it was a bit of a miscommunication, I think.
Yeah, I look back at it was a miscommunication. I look back at it and think I don't know if we would have won if we didn't miscommunicate, or if we would have won if we didn't go off sequence with strategy. Like if I didn't miscommunicate and I was 2 to 4 spots better on that last restart, maybe. But I think if we were on sequence with everybody, I don't think I think I don't want to say we would have, but we could have,
It would have been
we had
pretty.
a really good race car that night. So yeah, it was a little disappointing, but it's been the 7NY's been fast recently, and uh, yeah, we're gonna try to contend for the whole year. There's a lot of new tracks that I haven't been to up north, and really stout field. You got your Bonsanor, your Beers, your Emling, your Silk, just veterans in the series. So that's going to be really tough as well. But we're going to try to put our name in that same group.
Before we talk too much modifieds, I kind of glossed over quickly your truck schedule this year, and that's huge. I mean, you've already made one start at Martinsville. You have what, two more on the schedule with ThorSport?
Yeah, I've got Kansas and Wilkesboro scheduled for now.
Okay, so a little bit of everything then when it comes to kind of learning the trucks, because I have to imagine. I know I was fortunate enough. Tyler Ankrum, when he made his first truck series start, he did so at Martinsville, and I can remember I was doing a piece with him, and he was mad after the race. And I talked to him about it. He was like, trying to make a series start in Martinsville is so difficult.
Yeah, no, it was tough. I wasn't like it didn't go my way. Obviously, we showed a lot of speed and had a good run, but things didn't fall in line and had a lot of bad luck, got bounced around a lot, but I still wasn't mad after the race. Like I made a truck start, right? So it was a really cool experience. It was a lot of fun, and we were fastest in practice off the truck, which was really cool. I didn't even know we were fastest out of our group when I got out of the truck, like the first group. Like when I ran the lap time I did run, my spotter told me P1, but I was like, okay, but there's no way that sticks, right? It's not gonna stay there and that's in the back of my
I'll
mind.
enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah,
kind
and
of
for the
thing.
rest
Yeah.
of the round, like I didn't hear anything else about where we were. I just heard like, yeah, that pace is good, whatnot. So I get out of the truck, and my brother, my mom, his friend, they're like behind the wall, like this. I'm like, what? Like, where were we? And my brother's like, you serious? I'm like, yeah. He's like, P1. I like look up at the scoreboard. I'm like, no way. So that was really cool. Then we quickly went from the highest to highs to the lowest and lows in qualifying, and I messed up pretty big, but like I'm there to learn. So I guess I know what not to do when I go back. I got that out of the way.
You got to
And
make mistakes to learn, like you said. Yeah,
right,
it can't be a perfect day.
right.
First start, perfect day. I mean,
I spun myself out to keep from wrecking Corey Day because I'm three wide bottom and I'm three wide bottom down the front stretch. Then they stacked up a little bit going into one, and I wasn't paying enough attention. And at one point, I was like, well, I'm either gonna wreck Corey and the three trucks in front of him, or I'm gonna hook a left, monster truck the curb, and spin myself out. So I chose that one.
good
And
choice.
yeah, I'm happy with that choice. And then picked a few more off. Pit strategy put us like 7th on a restart with 50 to go, and we're racing Ankrum for 6th, like 6th or 7th, and got turned around and went to the back and got bounced around like a pinball back there on every restart. Like one restart, somebody missed a shift, another guy missed a shift. The next restart, then the last restart, somebody blew a tire and was right in our lane, and we couldn't go. We didn't have a choice but to sit behind them and go backwards. But yeah, and I remember under yellow, one of the last yellows, I'm looking up at the pylon as we're going around, and Ankrum's leading, and I was like, no way, like this plays out the way it did, and the guy that we were racing is leading the race. So we had a shot, and we had a lot of speed. That's all you can ask for.
Mm-hmm. And you talk about your mom being there and your brother being there. I mean, your family has an incredible history in racing, and they've done a lot of incredible things and amazing accomplishments. But how do you describe that moment in particular for you, that personal accomplishment of getting to make that truck start, standing on the grid was your dad there too, I'm assuming? That's just got to be the coolest feeling.
Yeah, no, it was definitely the coolest feeling I've ever experienced. It's like it was almost like pre-race, it almost felt like I had just won the biggest race of my career just because I was there. Um,
And you're like, oh wait, I also have to put the helmet on
yeah,
to do the race now.
I
Yeah,
actually
got it.
have
Okay,
to
cool.
do it. But I like it. The whole like situation was like for weeks leading up to it. Like it was like it was all a dream for like 3 weeks leading up to the race. Going to the shop, getting fitted, seeing the truck for the first time with my name on it. That was unbelievable because I didn't like 5 years ago. I wasn't even racing. I didn't even know that I was like gonna be able to race a modified at one point or whatever it was like that. So to be here like that quick, um, unexpected.
What was that relationship like with racing for you growing up, being in a racing family? What were the kind of personal expectations on yourself as far as your role in the future of the racing family?
I was just a race fan. Like I thought it was cool to go to the races and watch NASCAR and like I was not educated on like the short track racing scene at all like growing up. Like when when I was 8, like you go up to me in elementary school like what do you want to be when you grow up? It's either football player, basketball player, race car driver here and there I'd say that, but I didn't know like as an 8-year-old that kids my age are racing like
And have been for like 4 or 5 years.
like
Yeah.
I didn't even know like that. I think my parents did it that way on purpose. They didn't show me that that it was possible to go racing. But once I learned that it was and that like it's attainable for us, like my brother started racing a legend car, I was like, well, that's the coolest thing ever. Like I want to do that. And the more I looked into it, the more I like kind of started getting around short track racing and meeting people. Honestly, most of my friends, almost every friend I have in the industry right now, I met through iRacing or met the people that introduced me to them through iRacing, like just on there. So
That's wild.
yeah, no doubt.
I mean, you hear people talk about how iRacing's the future and oh, I got my start in racing.
Yeah,
But truly, I mean, that's
yeah,
insane to really think about.
yeah. Like when I remember like one day my brother came home and he had his own iRacing thing in his room for a little bit, and like he let me try it like once, but he would never let me get on it. And I was, how old was I at the time? I guess I was like 12 or 13. And he was like, I'm testing a legend car tomorrow. And I was like the little like Ford things, like the coupe things. He's like, yeah. So I was like, really? I thought he was lying. I didn't believe him until I got sent a picture of his car at the track. So
that's how unbelievable the idea of you or your brother being in a race car was.
Yeah, like I was 12. Most kids, like I'm racing against 12, 13-year-olds right now that are racing. And at that time, like I was learning that I could do it. And then once he told me that, I was like, well, Mom, Dad, I want to do this. Like I want to get iRacing. Can I do that? And they're like, I guess. Then I got my own wheel and pedals, and you couldn't rip me off that thing for hours. Like I was, especially during COVID is when I was doing it. So I'm on it, literally racing one race per hour for like 10 hours a day. And
so 24 hours of COVID. Just,
yeah, no, yeah,
racing.
for sure. Like I remember like asking my brother for tips and all this, and he like he wasn't super educated on the racing thing. He wasn't like all in, so he didn't know a ton about it when he first started either, which is crazy because we grew up around it. But it's like I'm racing like a street stock and I'm driving with one foot like I'm on the street. And Jack's like, you're not supposed to do that. I'm like, really? Like I thought that's how it was. And like that's how clueless I was jumping onto the game. That game taught me everything because I played it for years before I even got in a race car. Well, 2-3 years before I even got in a race car. So yeah, it was I wasn't told as a kid that I was going to be racing in the truck series one day. So when I realized that it was possible and happening, I'm glad I'm mature enough to appreciate it and take it slow and take it all in and savor it.
I think that's big. You saying that you can appreciate it because one, the maturity is one thing, but the maturity to have the understanding that you did grow up in the sport and your family does have so much success. Your dad has owned Cup Series team and he has an insane number of modified championships, and just the 7 and why. You know the legacy your family's already left, but there was never just this expectation that you were going to be able to add on to that. Like, you had to work for yourself. And then this weird kind of irony in this long-standing history that the Baldwin name carries, and then the new generation of Baldwin coming up through iRacing is just really cool. I mean, it really is the future.
Yeah, I was like, I played football, basketball growing up. I ran track, and that was like every winter you asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I'd tell you an NBA player. Every fall it's an NFL player. I was one of those kids, but I was not even close to good enough to even I shouldn't have even thought about that. I should have thought about getting in the game in my 5th grade rec league, but
it's okay. That's every 5th
yeah,
grader. If you didn't think you were going to be in the NBA, then like...
And the worst part is like I'd go play travel basketball or middle school basketball and get like no minutes, rightfully so. And I thought, I was like, this is not right. Like, I'm the best player on this team. And
Coach, what are you doing?
Yeah, like, what's wrong with my
Come
coach?
on.
He sucks.
Yeah.
No, I suck. Like that. I had no idea that there was, it was absolutely justified that I wasn't playing. But yeah, like growing up, I always knew it was cool growing up around it. Like being able to go to the cup races. I knew that was cool because I was friends. I had one friend that was just kind of a big race fan in elementary school, and like he kind of let me know that like that's not normal.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, nobody gets to come and do this, and then so like I was able to take all that in from a fan perspective, but like when I went to the shop, I wasn't like learning about the cars. At this point, obviously, I wish I was. But I wasn't like learning about the cars or learning how to clean or sweep the floors or nothing, unfortunately. I was riding my scooter around, jumping on the surface plates, maybe sticking a sticky note on my dad's back that says kick me. So all of his
You're just being a kid.
Yeah, just being a kid. But yeah, so I think that I'm grateful for that it, like I said, it helps me appreciate it a lot more. Like a lot of kids growing up racing go-karts, like they're expected to do it. And like that's nothing on them. Like it's how they grew up, and like it's instilled to them that they're gonna race at a high level. So when it happens, they're like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be.
This was what was expected of
right.
me.
So I'm happy that we did it the way that we did it, and yeah, I missed out on a lot, but at the same time, I don't think I missed out on much.
No, I can 1,000,000% relate to you talking about your upbringing and being around the sport, but it sounds like your parents had a lot of the same philosophy that my parents had, and this idea that like just because my dad worked in the sport or you know, so much of his life revolved around the scheduling of racing and the madness that was, I'm still my own person. And if I want to play soccer, or like you said, if I want to play basketball or football or baseball, like you should be allowed to do that, and it shouldn't be dictated around your dad's work schedule, because essentially that's what it boils down to, is it's, you know, work for your dad. So I get that, like that kind of understanding that your parents were like, racing is respected, but you're your own person, and let's let you choose the path you want to take. And then the irony, and also understanding how that path leads you back to racing, and you're like, hey, okay, I'm back, here I am, you know.
I had to push to be able to race. Like when I first started getting serious about wanting to race, like my mom wasn't a huge fan of me racing as a kid. Just it's dangerous, as any mom would think. But like, and when I was like, can I race? They're like, well, you need to get your grades up before you can start racing. And I'm like, all right. So I got my grades up. Then I was still even hesitant. Like it's not that they didn't want me to race. They just didn't like know if it was almost like worth starting almost.
For sure. Well, we can agree it's not really something you just like go to Dick's Sporting Goods, buy a glove, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. It's kind of a big investment to just try out.
For sure. So yeah, I once we started in legend cars, like me and my brother, we didn't have any success. Like we weren't good in a legend car at all. We struggled. Towards the end, like getting in other people's cars, we had a few good runs and showed a little bit of speed. And then my dad was like, we'll give it one more shot. We'll go crate modified racing and see how that goes.
Your
We'll
dad was
try it
like
out.
building you crappy Legends cars, hoping that you guys wouldn't want to.
Maybe not on purpose, but our
No, I'm kidding.
legend cars definitely weren't. He hated those things, so they
You're like, I got in somebody else's car and we were way faster. I don't know
yeah,
what that's
it's
about,
crazy
but
how
yeah.
that works.
I'm actually really talented when I don't drive your race cars, Dad.
But
No.
it was like the modified would be getting serviced every day and all that, getting new stuff put on it when it's worn out, and then the legend car we're taping fenders back together if it's not already sitting there collecting dust in the shop, just because they I don't want to say they
It's not their
suck,
forte.
but
Let's
yeah,
just
it's not.
yeah.
It was the legend cars weren't for any of us involved. They weren't for me. They weren't for my brother. They weren't for my dad. So he took one more chance. We went crate modified racing and immediately started winning races in those. And we're like, all right, maybe this is worth doing, and it took off from there.
Yeah, I'd say. And how many years ago was that you said? Like 5 years ago, just to get
The
this
crate
timeline?
modified was 2023, so
So 2
years
years
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Do you recognize how insane that is?
There's a lot of luck. Like we took the chance on the crate mods, and like we knew we were starting late, so we had to play catch up with all that, and so we took a chance on that, and it worked. And then honestly, after that year, I was about to almost stop racing like a good bit. Like I was gonna pull back on it a lot and
Why?
start spotting, because it was to the point where I'm almost done with high school. This racing stuff's expensive. We can't. My dad has a job. My dad got sick towards the end of that year in the crate modifieds, so we had to focus on that. And yeah, I was like, well, I had an opportunity in front of. I spotted for Ryan Newman on the Smart Tour all 2023, and he wanted me to come spot his cup races that he was doing for Rick Ware Racing. And Rick Ware was like, I don't know if we want to throw you in it now, but we'll take you to some races and then maybe see how you do with the part-time car next year. So that was the plan. Which was a little crazy, taking me cup spotting on my like second or third year ever spotting. But like I was almost going to go NASCAR spotting in 2024. And then Hermie Sadler called my dad's like, hey, does Luke want to race the tour modified on the Smart Tour? And we were like, well, we're back to it. Let's go racing again. So we did that, and yeah, it was we were pretty close to being done. We had gotten a Pro Late model that we were going to race maybe 10 times that year. Whatever we could work out, but yeah, it was it wasn't supposed to last this long, and then Hermie took a chance on me, and like Hermie Sadler and Chris Walker, the owner of Walker Motorsports, those two so far have played, other than my dad, obviously, they have played the biggest roles in getting me out there and giving me a car to drive. Like Walker called me after called my dad after New Smyrna 602 modified speed weeks in 2023 and was like, hey, is Luke want to race the late model? I got in the late model and ran a few car store races, ran all right, and got a liking to Walker and his guys, and he gave me multiple shots to go racing, and then that helped get my name out there, and then spotting for Hermie's car on the Smart Tour and Hermie taking a liking to me and calling me to drive. Those are the two reasons that I'm able to still race.
Isn't it wild to think that you were about to, I don't want to say, to make it sound like it would have been like a negative turn, because to go spotting in the Cup Series for Ryan Newman is huge. I mean, that would have been an
Right.
awesome career path. But then to think, oh, we gave it one more shot, and you go out there and you win the championship. That is a very kind of reaffirming thing that, okay, I'm on the right path. I should maybe continue this racing
Yeah.
thing a little bit.
Like I was ready to accept that I have a job in front of me that would, like, I'm still in high school and this would pay more than anybody I know, so I can't miss out on this. And then
It's the coolest job on top of that.
Yeah, it's a crazy cool job. So yeah, not a lot of people know that. I think the spotting community, they all heard about it, and I don't think they were happy for good reason. I mean, I'm a
Understandably
kid
so.
going to spot, and there's a lot of guys that have been doing it for years and worked super, super hard to try to get themselves in that position and haven't gotten the opportunity. And then it was about to pretty much be handed to me. I, don't- I don't think that went over well with a lot of people, which I completely understand. But
I will say, give yourself enough credit. The defensiveness from the other spotters is completely understandable. But for Ryan to see enough in you to be willing to put you on the spotter stand, to put that trust in you, you had to have known something. So I will say, give yourself a little bit of credit there because, I mean, although, yes, crazy albeit that you're just going to get up there and do that.
It probably wasn't going to be a good... I had this in my mind how like the next couple years spotting NASCAR were going to be incredible and all this, but I can't imagine it would have went very, very well. I'm not like even now, like looking back at it, I'm still if the same situation was to be brought to me now with the knowledge I have now, I'm still not ready to go spot a cup car. I still don't know enough about, race strategy and air and all that and how to kind of direct the race at big tracks like that. Like there's no way I could go spot the Daytona 500 and do a good job, right? So it was kind of wild that was the small road that was to the side that I might have been
potential
taking.
side quest that you were going down.
Yeah.
What could have been?
I don't think it. Yeah, what could have been. I'm happy it wasn't. But yeah.
Going back to your mom real quick, and you mentioned her kind of that understandable hesitancy towards wanting to let you race. Where is she now in this acceptance? I saw a video too recently of you having her in the modified with you. That was incredible. Any mom getting inside of a race car is always hilarious, much less one that clearly didn't necessarily want her son to be racing to begin with.
Yeah, like she's all in now. Like she loves it. Like she still watches races like this. She still can hardly watch them, but she loves it. She's super supportive and yeah. She's a type, like, she doesn't even like roller coasters. Like, she doesn't like anything like that. She doesn't like heights. Like, she doesn't like she doesn't like any of that
Not a
stuff.
thrill seeker kind of person.
No, not at all. So when I thought about putting her in the ride-along car, and I was like, there's no way, like, she'll say yes. And the first time I brought it up to her, she was like, sure. I was like, what? And then, that was the night before. Then, like, in the morning, I was like, you ready? She's like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm like, yeah, you are. I made sure she was going to do it. So
you knew she'd want to try to back out.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, and she didn't want to do it at all the whole time. Like I gave a few ride-alongs before her, and I'm not putting around. I'm still driving it, but like it's nothing crazy. And then when she gets in, I did a burnout off pit road. I'm scrubbing tires at full speed down the straightaway, trying to see if I can break this thing loose. Slide her a little bit. She was. It was supposed to be 2 laps. I did 3 or 4, and she's like pointing to pit road, and I'm still. That was a ton of fun. That was one of my favorite moments to date in the few years I've been racing.
That's so fun. I can't. Also, a 2-seater modified. That is so sick.
Yeah.
Is that yours? That's your family's?
No. That's Chris Williams, the director of the Smart Tour. It's street legal too, so you could take that thing out on the road and
make note. We need to call Chris.
Yeah, it doesn't get good gas mileage though. It's
okay.
Expensive.
Noted. Oh, that's so funny though. I'm so glad that your mom's kind of all in on it now. I mean, how could she not be? Of course, like she's going to be supportive of everything you do. Your dad seems to be a little more reserved or stays behind the scenes a little more when it comes to your racing. Is that fair to say, or is that just the wrong perspective?
50-50. Like when I go race for other teams, he's reserved. He tries to stay out of it. He's relatively involved with the Sadler Stanley Racing team, just like because him and Neil Cantor, my crew chief, have worked together for years, and we race out of PSR Products shop. My dad's kind of an ambassador of PSR Products, so he plays a decent role over there. But like the truck stuff, he's kind of like my agent almost with that kind of deal. And then once we get to the racetrack, he gives me advice here and there, but on race day he kind of stays out of it and tries to take a back seat to it. But when I'm racing for him, he's all in, or if I'm sure a lot of people have seen the past couple of weeks when my brother's racing for him and some fireworks happen over there. He's pretty involved over there, I'd say. But yeah, he tries to be a dad when he needs to be, and he's pretty good at recognizing those times. and knows when to step in or step out.
Well, and on top of being a great dad, he's also a team owner. So he can see from the team owner's perspective, probably how involved he should or shouldn't be in the driver's job that weekend.
He's probably worked closely with a kid that's racing, that's dad is
correct.
Super helicopter, and been like, man, I can't be this guy, right? So, or at least seen or heard about it.
For sure. He knows what he would want to have out of the parent of his driver, The name Tommy Baldwin, the Baldwin name, is so strong. It's so stoic. It carries so much prestige with it. And then to hear that you guys were going through something like your dad's cancer diagnosis, it was hard for the modified world to think that somebody that we all love and respect so much was hurting. I can't imagine as a family what that was like for you guys to have to go through something like that.
Yeah, it was it was a good thing, like the treatment was short compared to a lot of other like types of cancers and whatnot. Like it was short, but it was like really, really tough. Like he was really laid out for a good while there and went through really tough times. So, and my mom was a trooper through it all. Like she took care of him and did a lot for him and still kept me and my brother, rolling there. And then we were able to keep racing because obviously there's no way my dad's gonna be like, no, you gotta stop. Like let's like he wanted us to keep racing. He even honestly risked his life, like to go run Wilkesboro with the crate modifieds. He legitimately risked his life to come out. They brought a camper into the infield so he can lay down whenever. He could hardly even be outside, and he still wanted to go run the crate modifieds so we can experience North Wilkesboro. And he went through a lot, and it was tough, like seeing your dad laid out in bed sick for days and days and days and days and not being able to be a part of what we're doing. And it was throat cancer, so he couldn't talk, so you couldn't even have a conversation with him, which was a really tough part. But like I said, we're lucky that it was a short amount of time and he was able to get through it on the first go at it, and has been cancer free since then. And as soon as he could get up and walk, and probably before he could even work, he was working. So he got right back to it, didn't miss a beat, and kind of put his life on the line just for the love of it, going racing with his family and being in the sport.
What do you expect? That's exactly what I expect from him.
You couldn't, no matter what anybody said, he wasn't gonna skip out on any of that. So
I can remember there were a few tour modified races that year that I believe Doug Kobe was in the car, and I always asked Doug about how your dad was doing, and I mean everybody was asking about him, and Doug told me he was like he's here, like he's not coming out in public and talking to people, but like he's here. And there were just so many weeks that Doug's probably like he's kind of saying with his eyes, I don't know that he should be here, but he's here.
Yeah, there were a couple weeks that he went racing like after he got diagnosed, and nobody even knew that what was going on. Then once he had to really go into treatments, we scaled back all the tour modified racing. We tried to keep smart tour racing, and it was going okay. There's just like when the guy that runs the whole show has to step out, like nothing's gonna go the way it normally goes. Nothing's gonna be normal. So, but that being said, like in the shop with our crate modifieds, we still went racing with those. And Michael Curtis, who has been a big role in Tommy Baldwin racing for a couple of years, he's basically like the car chief of everything. He's the one that's there with me when my dad's not, and he did a really good job keeping things up and running. And it was hard to try not to miss a beat. We were missing a few, but it was tough for a little bit, but that we kind of worked to forget about all that whole next year and get back on our feet and running. And now he's sprinting for sure.
What do you remember about getting the news? Like you said, he's totally in remission now. So getting that news that he'd beat it, it was good. What do you remember about that?
I told myself through the whole process, like I told myself like we're gonna be fine. Like he's not. Like, we're gonna be fine. He's the strongest guy anybody knows. So like when it happened, like it was obviously amazing. Like it was really cool, and like it was a huge weight off my shoulders, and everybody's shoulders. But it was like, yep, that's what's supposed to happen. Like that's like I saw this coming. Like we knew this was gonna happen. Like this wasn't gonna hold him down for very long. So yeah, we're like, all right, time to get back to work. Like let's everything's normal again. Let's catch up on a little bit that we missed out on and go back to work.
How's your brother? How's your brother doing? You said
Jack?
He's your older brother, right?
Yes,
a couple years older.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, he's 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
He's doing good. He's learning a lot this year on the Smart Tour, and it's his first year full-time tour modified racing. Yeah, he's figuring a lot of things out the hard way. His luck has been terrible. If something could go wrong, it probably has. He's gonna win some races this year. He hasn't been able to be all in on the whole racing thing the past few years. He's not able to be as in tune because he's in college. He's still finishing school up at App State. So
good for him.
yeah, so racing hasn't been like his whole main priority, like it's been able to be mine. So for where he's at, he's been doing a great job. Just needs a little bit of luck on his side.
It's understandable. That decision to finish school, is that his decision? Is that your parents' decision?
When he started taking racing seriously, he was about a sophomore, junior in college. He's a senior now. It's his last year. And at that point, it so much is invested. He's been there for too long. It wouldn't make sense to not. So, like he knows that, and that's why he's not pushing super hard, or he wasn't ever pushing super hard to get out of it.
Sure.
But he still is so ready for it to be done, so he can just finally put all of his eggs in one basket and go racing. But he definitely doesn't want to be there right now, but he knows it wouldn't make sense for him not to be.
Yeah, it's smart. If you're going to do 2 years of school, finish it out. Yeah.
Finish.
What's your plan then? You were 18, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so are you still in high school? No.
Graduated last May, and
Congrats.
Thank you. High school was rough. I hated I don't want to say I hated high school. I think every kid needs to go to in-person high school for at least 2 years before you go online or anything. It's like I think high school is not an experience that you have to go through for at least a little bit.
Builds character.
Yeah, for sure.
Big time.
Builds a lot of character.
Social skills. There's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Let's just say you can tell if someone didn't go to high school.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of my friends. A
lot of the racing world didn't go to high school.
A lot of my racing friends, I could, if I didn't know, I would know that they didn't go to high school. But yeah, I finished high school last year, and now I'm just a racer, I guess.
Nice.
I work in the shop. I race.
So you do work in the shop then now, during the week?
Yeah. I have to. It's like I either gotta find a job or I better be in the shop. So I'm in the shop.
So we're in the shop. And what are we doing in the shop on a weekly basis?
Just
whatever needs done.
Yeah, like whatever needs to be done.
Okay.
I'm not to the point to where I'm like I haven't been around it long enough. I haven't learned enough to where I'm doing everything in the shop. But yeah, just like if someone asked me exactly what my title is, I'd floor mechanic, something like that. Like I'm doing the basic stuff that honestly nobody else wants to do, or
somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it, so it's me. But yeah, I if I wasn't in the shop and I'm not in school or anything, so I have nothing else to do, I don't know what I would do. Like I wouldn't have anything else to do. So yeah, it's and I like spending time with my dad at the shop and other people that are there. So
that's fair. So as far as this season goes, then, as we established, modifieds is big, but what's the outlook? You know, these 3 truck runs. What are you hoping comes of that? Where do you hope that this season propels you to in the long run?
the ultimate goal is to race on Sundays, right? Like as any kid that races, or yeah, as any kid that races wants to do. So um, I'm just taking it, as time goes. Like I'm gonna obviously, like, I want to go full time truck series, full time something next year, something like that. I don't know,
So
whatever.
you think you're ready to
I
go full-time truck series
I don't
racing
know if
next
I'm
year?
ready. I got a lot more to learn before I'm full time truck series racing,
Sure.
but
But you could be ready by next season.
I think so, or at least I don't know.
It's a
It's
mindset. It's a
yeah,
confidence
yeah,
thing. If you
it's a
think you're ready, then
mindset.
you're ready.
Yeah, I like I said, we're playing catch up, right? Because I
Hmm.
haven't been doing this for very long, and it's getting to the point where I feel like if you're not 16 years old, 17 years old, getting ready to like go ARCA racing or something, truck racing, and then 18, 19 going truck Xfinity, whatever it is, like you're behind the eight ball. So we'll see how Kansas and Wilkesboro goes, obviously, first before that. If we go to Kansas and I just can't handle it, and there's just nothing going there, then obviously we'll know that it is not time yet. But
That we are not ready.
yeah, we
Yeah.
are not ready. But yeah, we're gonna just keep modified racing for now, and whatever opportunity lands in front of us, we'll take, and just kind of play it day by day. But there's no like, I need to be doing this next year. We're gonna be doing this the year after that. It's just it's whatever I can do, and whatever it takes to propel my career as quickly as possible, I guess.
I'm sure when you've had the career path that you've had too, it's probably kind of difficult to think about where you're going to be in a few years when you're like, I didn't even think I'd be here a
Yeah,
couple
like
years
yeah,
ago.
like
Like, who knows where I'll be? But
yeah,
I
I don't know.
also recognize that my exciting questioning of like, do you think you're ready? It probably sounded really condescending, and it was not coming from a place of like, are you sure you're ready? It was coming from a place of excitement,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
you're either ready or you're not. Like
Right, right.
you got to go out there and learn. So either like
Yeah.
decide you're ready and do it, or well, did you like testing at Charlotte?
I've never gone that fast in my life. It's pretty crazy. Like I've like a lot of my good friends, like they race on big tracks, and like they're like, it all feels like kind of slow, and I'm like, oh, okay. My first time rolling out on the backstretch, I'm getting up through the gears. I'm like, what are they talking about? Like I'm back in my seat, like I'm flying right
This
now.
is
So
not slow.
this is not
Yeah.
slow. I guess they're talking about just kind of bogging around Daytona, Talladega, or something where you're just kind of like this. But yeah,
Just wide open cruising.
yeah, at a
Yeah.
place like Charlotte where you're actually really driving it definitely doesn't feel slow to me. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I don't want to say we picked it up pretty quick, but like we had speed. But speed's one thing. Racing in a pack of 30 trucks with a bunch of dirty air and a bunch of things happening is a whole different conversation, right? Like just because I can lay a lap down doesn't mean I'm gonna be able to get around. The Ty Majeski's, Corey Himes, Lane Riggs, everybody in the truck series, and just hold my own. Like, what am I? I don't know what I'm gonna do when I go into turn 3 at Charlotte and somebody pins it on my door and I'm grabbing a handful of wheel. Like, what? I'm never gonna know that.
I've
until
never been
that's
here
it.
before. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
supposed to handle this.
yeah.
Yeah. First time.
I guess we'll figure that out in a couple weeks. But
That's all you can do.
like I'm lucky enough that, like I said, Thor Sport's a great group. So I had Majeski there, Ben Rhodes there, Jake Garcia there, Fenhouse I'm sharing a seat with during the test. Like, these are all guys that I can bounce ideas off of and learn a ton from. So
It's two truck champions right
yeah,
there.
right.
I mean,
Like you don't
that's a stellar team.
really get that kind of personal help like that anywhere else. So yeah, and it was a lot of fun working with Luke, bouncing ideas off of each other on how the truck drives, and we related on a lot of things, and yeah, like I said, it's just a great group over there from top to bottom.
Okay, before I let you go, I have a segment that I do with all of my guests. It's called Long Story Short. And it's because I'm the queen of saying long story short, and then you're sitting here for the next 30 minutes like this is the longest story I've ever heard.
Right.
So I have 3 questions for you. Your answers can be as long or as short as possible. That's up to you.
Okay.
Take it away. Question 1, when's the last time that you cried?
When's the last time that I did cry? I don't know. That's tough to think about. Honestly, I don't.
Not a big crier.
I used to be for sure. Like when I was like, oh yeah, like when I was like 10, 11 years old playing tackle football for the first time. If I got hit the wrong way, I was gonna cry for some reason. I don't know.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's one like we were talking about before.
Embarrassing
That's an
moments.
embarrassing moment. I used to cry all the time on the football field.
I
Like,
was that kid.
yeah,
Oh.
like nothing's actually wrong, but I'm crying. I'm exaggerating. But recently, shoot, I don't know.
I love it though, because if you ask a girl this question, she's like, "Oh,
Last
Tuesday." When
Yeah.
like it's just, and every man you ask is
Last
like,
night when I
"Oh."
spilled my glass of water all over the kitchen floor or something.
How'd you
but-
know?
Yeah, like I.
Or like this morning when I saw this video of a puppy on
Oh
TikTok.
my! I think I don't know if it's the last time I cried, but sometime within probably the last 5 months or something, I saw this like it was a long like 6 to 8 minute TikTok of like a tribute video to this dog's like whole life, and I think I'm pretty positive that I cried at the end of that.
How can you not? It's a 6
I
to 8 minute long
know,
tribute
like,
on TikTok
the
for a dog's
music's
life.
sad and the dog's just incredible, and that's definitely I definitely cried at that, but I honestly don't remember the last time I cried.
It was sometime in the last 5 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Give
sure.
or
It
take.
hasn't been that long. Yeah, we'll say that.
All right, question 2. When was the last time you did something that you remember just feeling an immense amount of pride in yourself?
I guess top of the board practice at Martinsville. I was like,
Heck yeah.
yeah, that was. I want to pick something not racing related though.
Yeah. Thank you. Hey,
Um,
quick thing. Thank you for being a normal person for a second. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Let's.
Not that all
see.
of the other, people aren't, but it is refreshing to have someone think outside of racing for a moment.
So I don't know if it's like I said. I don't know if it's the last time I felt this, but I was sometime last year, latter end of last year. I was playing golf. I shot a 79. I'm not sure if you're.
Yeah.
And like I'm not a good golfer. Like I don't.
Well, if you shot a 79,
I don't understand either. Like I've broken 90 twice, and one of those times I also happened to break 80, and
you just shattered 90.
yeah, I don't know how it happened, what came over me. The cleanup crew was out that day because I honestly don't even like I was not hitting off the tee good, but the cleanup crew was out and we were just up and down, one putt in every hole. And
Do you have a witness to this round of golf?
Connor Hall.
Okay.
Connor
okay.
Hall, and I think TJ DeCare was there. They can attest that it did happen. They're like, let's be real. I'm not on the PGA Tour. There was probably a mulligan. I think I might have hit a breakfast ball. There's probably a mulligan in there. So in reality, was it probably more like an 82, 83, maybe?
What's a mulligan here or there?
But it's nothing that nobody else would take. And I'm not playing in a tournament for money. I was playing with my friends. So I had shot a legit 79. But it was a 79.
It was a
79.
Okay, a
That's what the
79 with a
scorecard
mulligan?
Yeah.
Hey, look,
Yeah. My
shots-
brother or my dad don't believe me because for some reason every time I play with them, I play horrible. Like it's like my first time golfing if I play with them. I never play good with them. One person that I always play good with is Brent Cruz because Brent is really, really good and he's a huge help to my golf game. As soon as I mess up, he'll tell me exactly how to fix it. And like it's just always a good time playing golf with him because he helps me and like we take it serious enough to where I'm focused on like how good I'm playing. It's I play good around him, but
You feel like you're actually getting something out of the game?
Yeah,
Round that you're
Yeah.
playing? Yeah.
but
Do you ever have those friends that you take with you because you're like, I need to feel like I'm good at golf, so like I'm gonna go golf with this guy because woof, he's gonna take a few mulligans.
No,
no,
no.
just me.
me and TJ, we're pretty even. Like we'll both have a pretty good round and shoot like an 89 or an 87 or a low 90, a pretty good round in our right. And it seems like we always do it together. Or we'll have a really terrible round and shoot a 108. Like I think he shot a 105 and I shot a 108 the last time we golfed. It was really bad. but then like we'll shoot like a 94 and a 96, and it's like, well, that was a good, like we're so even. It's nice to play with him. So yeah, that was the 79 was a big sense of pride. I walked away feeling like the man, and I think I probably played another round and 2 days later and probably shot like a 105 and quickly humbled myself. But yeah, that was pretty cool. And if anyone doesn't believe me, go ask Connor Hall. He can attest to it.
For the record, I believe you.
Thank you.
And I just had this very funny mental image of like your, trophy room or whatever having like race flags, and then there's just like a scorecard like pinned up there that says 79 with a little asterisk next to it for that, mulligan-ish. I think that's incredible.
Sweet.
A great thing to be proud of.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, final question. One piece of media, so it can be like a show, a movie, podcast, song, website, anything that you would recommend for our viewers and listeners to check out.
First of all, door bumper clear.
Nope, no free ads. Get out of here.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. That's fair. That's fair. I like door bumper clear. They're
really
really good.
The movie,
like really good.
The movie Carry On. It came out a couple months ago on Netflix. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it. I'm not like pulling something underground here, but that was one of the best movies I've ever watched in my life. It's like kind of an action movie.
Okay. I haven't even heard of it. I don't even know what it is.
I think it's a Netflix original or something, but
okay.
It's a little bit of an action movie, like thriller type thing, and I'm usually comedy only. Like I only like comedy movies. That's my favorite movie right now. I'm probably gonna watch it again because I've only watched it once, and it was a couple months ago. But that's what I'd recommend.
This is just my way of getting my list of what I'm gonna watch next. This is just my own way of compiling my next list of things.
What about
binge.
What's your what's your recommendation right now?
Oh god. Oh geez.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting you put me on the spot now.
Yeah.
It is kind of a hard question now that you ask it to me. I think I was about to do a shameless plug and say Rollin with the punches, but obviously
I'll check it out.
they're if you're here, you're already doing so. South Park.
South Park.
If you don't watch South Park, what are you doing? Do you watch South Park?
I don't. I'm not a big movie show guy. Like I rarely watch movies, or I definitely don't watch shows because I can't stay interested long enough. But like there was a phase a few years back where I watched a ton of South Park. Same with like Family Guy and stuff like that.
Every boy goes through the like 15-year-old phase of watching South Park. I guess I'm just still in that phase.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Solid.
Young Sheldon, I went through a pretty long phase of watching Young Sheldon. That's a really good show.
I've actually heard great things about that show.
That's a really good show. There's a lot of shows I feel like I've watched just because I see clips on TikTok. Mm-hmm. Like The Rookie, that cop show.
Okay.
I used to get those all the time. I haven't in a while, but I feel like I've watched a season of that just through TikTok.
In like 3-minute clips on TikTok.
Yep.
Like I've found myself doing that. Like I think I've watched Shrek before on TikTok. Like before you know it, you're just like, oh, next one, and then
then I'm stuck there.
It's been 2 hours, and I've just been watching Shrek on TikTok in vertical form.
Yeah,
yeah. Cool. All right, I'll check it out. What was it called? Carry On.
Carry On.
Okay, I can do that. And you check out Rollin with the Punches in your free time. Highly recommend. The host is kind of annoying, but if you can get past her, you're good.
I've heard of it. I'm not super interested.
Oh.
I don't think I'm...
Okay.
No.
Yeah, we joke about being able to tell if somebody went to high school. That's a kid that definitely went to high school. So well-rounded, so well-spoken, and has a hobby outside of being at a racetrack. How refreshing. No, I'm joking, but in all seriousness, very excited to see what Luke does here in the future with his racing career, and very thankful to have him come by and share a little bit of his story with us. But I think that's really all I got for y'all this week. But again, hold off on your happy birthdays. Save your voices. We can all come together and celebrate this weekend. And I know the guys are probably whipping up a big cake and cupcake celebration for us all three to have after I wrap up the show here. It must be a surprise. Anyways, with that, be sure you're following us on Instagram at Rollin.Punches. If you're watching this on YouTube, hey, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. while you're here, go ahead and subscribe. No, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment. I don't know, rate, review, all those things you do when you have a favorite podcast. And I really appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening. I love you. Mom, have a great weekend. I'll see you soon. Thanks for listening. I love you. And to send all of y'all off into this weekend with the wise words of my mother, don't be a dumbass, okay? I love y'all. Bye.